everybody. Welcome to Boca Goes Live. I'm Marie Speed, editor of Boca Magazine, and my guest today is Barb Schmidt. Now, I think most of you who are watching this probably already know who Barb Schmidt is, but for the three of you who don't, she's a longtime Boca resident known for her work in meditation and mindfulness, exactly the opposite of Marie Speed. Barb started Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life in 2011, and she's been in a million retreats with people like Deepak Chopra and the Dalai Lama, people like that. She does a lot of classes and workshops at FAU, and she's published a really well-received book on meditation called The Practice. So who better to talk to in a crazy time than somebody who's grounded, who's kind of zen. So Barb, how are you?
I'm great.
Yeah, how have you been weathering 2020? What have you been doing and not doing?
Well, for sure, I've been pretty much locked down at home. I have definitely taken this very, very seriously. I went into quarantine in the middle of March when things started shutting down, and I think one of the beautiful things about 2020 and this generation is that we can do everything online. We miss the interpersonal connection and the actual physical hugging and being with people, but we've been able to continue all of our programming and all of the things that we do, especially the incredible work that we do with the book all of it on Zoom, on WebEx. And so we've been doing it all online, but it's not easy. It's the energy of the external world has an impact. And I think it's what I've been teaching and what I know to be true in my experiences for 35 years of practice, but nothing I think has kicked all of our butts more than this year.
No kidding. And I see that you post a lot of inspirational messages very frequently on Facebook. And I'm wondering, what kind of feedback do you get from people on those? I know that a couple of those that I've read just went straight to my heart. It was like, thank you for doing that today. What do people tell you?
Yeah, exactly that, Marie. I think I have goosebumps just you asking that question. We've always received such amazing feedback. This is just what I needed to hear. You're the positivity that I needed in my day. And they share a lot of personal stuff with us, but it has become tenfold. And then since COVID hit and since the whole world, because we are a worldwide platform. And Michelle and Lauren and I, we talk all the time. And Michelle and I were just talking today about how incredible it is. We started this in 2011 to see the impact that we're having on people's lives, just to be able to go somewhere to feel like they're in a community of like-minded people where we can get some inspiration, some instruction, just a lifeline to be able to feel like we're not alone and we can do this. It's not going to last forever. The thoughts in the mind are making us crazy. The external world is upside down right now, but it won't last forever, and we can do this together. So it's warmed my heart so much to see how people receive what we're posting, because it's real. We're all practicing it, and it's real.
So in addition to Facebook, where's the lifeline? Is there another place people can go?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram, and then we've been a lot of our programming online. We've been into our newsletters, Boca Regional Hospital newsletter, our Peaceful Mind, Peaceful Life newsletter. And so I feel like there's a lot of different avenues that people can find videos and meditations. YouTube, we've got some YouTube videos and meditations. So yeah, we've tried to cover as many bases as possible to give people an opportunity when they're feeling the need to have some kind of positivity and feeling that they're not alone.
Okay. Obviously, this is a little redundant almost, but everybody I talk to reveals a lot of anxiety, going off the charts. And everybody, even my more stable, wonderful, everyday sunny friends, talk about signs of depression. Nobody wants to say it, but everybody's feeling it. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give people to help them calm down? What can people be doing now to alleviate stress that doesn't involve like Oreos or vodka? I mean, what? What are some of the things? Not that those are bad things.
Well, the first thing I want to say is there's a term called spiritual bypassing that I really want to call it out for what it is. I've been sad. I went through a period for the month of June, July, where just the overwhelming feeling of the numbers of people that are dying of COVID worldwide, but in the United States, had a huge impact on me. I was like, oh my gosh, this is making me sad. So I want to say we are sad. We are anxious. Life is unpredictable and stressful anyway. I teach that. I know that. The first line of Scott Peck's book, The Road Less Traveled, is life is difficult. We all know that. We've had these discussions so many times, Maria, about life being difficult. Well, now we actually, if we thought maybe we could pass it and not make it difficult, we can't. So this COVID has shown us that we have to honor where we're feeling in the moment. So I've as I said, I've felt sad, especially June and July, but I didn't allow myself to live there. So what I'm trying to say is you have to feel the feeling, to be honest with yourself, that this is hard. This is difficult. This is stressful. I had some days where I felt I was in a depressive mood of sadness. And then you bring yourself out of it by understanding that this is sad, this is difficult, this is hard, but we can do this one day at a time. I'm a very big proponent in staying in the moment, and that I can do anything for today, or I can do anything for this moment that maybe my mind couldn't even think about doing for a week or a month or a year. Who would have guessed we'd still be doing this in the middle of October? So I think we have to be able to say, yes, this is hard. Yes, this is difficult. And it's the mind's reaction to what's happening in the world, and all of the things that the mind is telling us to spiral us down into the more fear, into the more stress, and into the more outcomes that we don't even know are happening yet. And so I use affirmations. William James, the most famous philosopher and psychologist, said the greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. And so when you ask me how have I been dealing with it, I've been choosing one thought over another. I've been choosing to believe I can do this. This will not last forever. And Maya Angelou said every storm runs out of rain. So eventually this will run its course, and we have to stay in the moment, doing it one moment at a time.
Would another way to say that be that when you start going into that dark place, you kind of regroup and go, okay, what am I having for dinner? You know, it's time to take the dog for a walk, and just maybe overlay regular moments on that stress and sort of shrink everything down to that. I mean, is that sort of what you're saying as a coping mechanism?
Yes, I would say this. Okay, if I'm feeling stressed, overwhelmed, anxious, fearful, whatever that is for you in the moment, stop and say, wow. I would say to myself, wow, Barb, you're feeling sad right now. You're feeling overwhelmed right now at the magnitude of what's happening. Just naming it, just stopping, instead of trying to push through, or instead of trying to change the subject, or instead of trying to bypass it, name it in the moment. You're feeling this right now. I think sometimes we're afraid to feel it because we're afraid we might get lost in it. Or can we survive it? Can I survive that I'm feeling sad? Naming it dissipates it so much in that moment. And then I'll ask myself, okay, you're feeling this. What can I do right now? And then what you just said, you know what I do right now? My dog needs to go out for a walk. I need to fix dinner. I could go watch an inspirational video online for a moment. Then we take an action of what do we think could help us shift the feeling of I'm powerless in this moment, because that's what's happening. We're feeling powerless, and actually taking power and taking control, and not allowing the mind to take us completely out into a place that's not real.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, you have to name it. You have to understand and have a conversation with yourself as to what can I do in this moment? Where can I get some of my power and my control back?
Mm-hmm.
And it shifts. It automatically shifts you.
And would you apply the same kind of logic? I mean, I think the other thing that's happening now is, I mean, we have so many layers of stress hitting us, and we have a very politically charged environment, and there's a lot of conflict between people. And it's really easy to wig out when you run into somebody, or you spend too much time on Facebook arguing, or all of that stuff. I mean, how do you control that? And because I think that gets very oppressive for people too, feeling like they have no control over what's happening in their own country, on either side. So is it the same principle, you think? I mean,
I do think it's the same principle with a little bit of a tweaking. We have to, we are out of control. Everything in our lives right now are out of control because everything in the world right now feels out of control. Everything in our country. And it is very negative. It's going at each other, two sides going at each other. It's incredibly negative. And so we are desperate to have a sense of control, a sense of power, a sense of, I use that word lifeline a lot. And so what has to happen is you have to be the boss of your life. And so you have to recognize, I can't take in any more negativity because it is so much and it's getting to be too much for me. I need to stop watching the news. I need to stop looking at Twitter. I need to stop going on Facebook. Recognizing that I can't change you and your opinions and your thoughts. I can only be true to who I am. I can voice my opinion. So if I'm on Facebook and someone's posted something that I don't agree with, I can answer if I choose to, hey, this is what I think, blah, 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 in a kind and strong, powerful way. And if they come back at me with an attack or they come back at me trying to engage me more, then I have a choice. Do I want to keep this loop going because it's feeding my need to be right, or it's feeding my need to try to change your mind, or it's just feeding my need to be angry? Everything is about choice. So I think we can choose that, but then recognize if we choose to keep in that loop on Facebook or Twitter or wherever we are, we're going to feel tired. We're going to
get more
we're angry. We're going to feel stressed. We're going to feel all those things. So just recognize that. And then when we feel angry, you can say, I'm feeling angry right now. What do I need to do in this moment? And what do I need to learn? Hey, maybe it's not so important for my own inner peace, my own sense of power and my own sense of calm and resilience and strength. Maybe I need to not go on Facebook and answer so many people back, because what is it actually doing anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's not doing anything anyway. I learned that. I mean, that started so early in this whole process, right? I mean, this was happening in March, April.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, meditation must be an enormous thing for you to do that helps you every single day. And we've talked about this before. I mean, most people find it very hard to learn how to meditate because of how distracted they get. But maybe it's time to reiterate that kind of centering yourself, or the ability to access that, is probably a really good weapon right now, correct?
It's a huge weapon. And I think, part of my mission has been to demystify that word meditation, which you and I have talked about so many times too. It's really just sitting with yourself. And it has been my lifeline, again, to use that word, because when you sit with yourself first thing in the morning, even just for a couple of minutes before you get out of bed, close your eyes, say, thank you for the gift of this new day. I woke up. That sets the foundation for everything. So having that connection with yourself, just sitting in quiet, just for a minute or two, just let your mind think. Don't try to stop your mind from thinking, because you can't. Just let it think, and you be connected to your breath and your inner knowing that, okay, here's another day. I remember waking up, I think it was probably April, maybe. I mean, even now, sometimes I'll get out of bed and I'll think, okay, I can do this again. We're still in this. We're still here. We're still doing the same thing, because it is so wild and it's so different.
Yeah.
But having that connection, okay, I got this. So yes, it's been everything. And I wish people would just understand, just don't try to stop thinking, just sit with your breath for a minute or two and set that foundation of your own connectedness within. So when the outside world starts throwing all the craziness that it is, you get a sense of, okay, Barb, you've had enough, get off Facebook. Or, okay, it's time for you to go take a nap. Time for you to go take a walk. Yeah. Or take a bath.
That's really encouraging. I think that's encouraging for those of us who would like to work on meditating, to just be with yourself. That makes it a lot less scary.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's good. That's very helpful.
Mm-hmm.
What do you miss the most? And we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but what do you miss the most out of this, quarantine, this forced solitude, whatever?
Hugging people. I love the work that I do, and I love the work at the hospital, at FAU, with the fellows over there, the high school students that we teach, the athletes. I miss, actually a little teary right now. I miss walking into the room and giving people a big hug. How are you? How's it going? Oh, we're so glad to see each other. So I would say I miss that the most,
Yeah,
giving people hugs
I
and
can
being
break
with
the contact, yes. And
them.
so when this pandemic ends, let's talk about happy times as our last question.
Okay.
Um, I know you were going to walk the El Camino. That was on the bucket list. What are some of the things that you can't wait to do when it's all over?
Oh my gosh, that was on the
So
bucket
many.
list. And in the training of the El Camino, I lost a toenail. I kind of ruined one of my because I was walking like 9 miles every other day. I was trying to walk like 8-9 miles a day to train. That I hope to do again, hopefully in 2021. I think the feeling, it's interesting to me. I think I hope to step back into life even a little bit more present. And I certainly, that's what meditation and mindfulness and all the things that I teach is all about: being present, being in the moment. And I hope that this has really shown me that life is fragile. Life is so unpredictable and we never know. So I guess my greatest hope is that when I step back in fully, which I haven't yet, that I will really never take for granted again the beauty of being able to step into a day and use my voice, or use my power, or use my laughter, or use my hug,
Yeah.
to make a difference.
Well, those are good words to end on. And
I miss you.
gosh, yeah, I miss seeing you. It's so nice to see your face.
I'm so
It's
happy to see you.
shining and pretty and happy, and you look like you've been doing well.
Right back
So
to
if you have any parting words for any of your, I bet a lot of your fans are on this. I'm just guessing. You have any parting words for all those people who love you out there?
I think just please understand that you're, that you are strong, and just be healthy, be safe, protect yourself, protect the people around you. Try to find the one joy every day, or the one beautiful thing when you wake up in the morning. Look for that one beautiful thing, or that one thing that might bring you joy. And just may you always feel how deeply loved and cared for, and that you're enough and you're whole and complete just the way you are right now. Perfectly, don't even give a thought to, just be you. Just really just keep being you, and it all will be well.
Oh, well, thank
I
you so
love you
much,
guys so
Barb.
much.
It was great talking to you today. And thank you so much for being with Boca Goes Live.
Thank you. Love you, Marie, and love all of you. Thank
Okay,
you.
take care.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.